Hi guys, this is Holistic Health Harry Applies to Realize talk show. Today we are joined by a very special guest you guys may recognize, Mr. David. Hi, hello David, how are you?
Hello, Harry.
Hmm.
It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you again.
Oh, I like that again. Yes, we've done a part one, which was a bit of your story, and we covered so many things. It was fascinating, and people loved it. So I thought we have to. And you came up to me and said, "Let's do another one." And information you want to get out there, and I'm more than happy to receive. I'm learned to learn too. So, with that being said, let's ask you to define in your version what is meditation. You want to talk about meditation to us. So, what is meditation?
Yeah, it's a good question, Harry. Meditation takes so many different forms. There's many different ways to sit and focus your mind or unfocus your mind. But the more you practice various types of meditation, the more you can settle into a place of quietness, of intentional allowance, if that makes sense. Say meditation is intentional allowance through stillness and quietness. So it's something that you can take every moment, to allow you to connect with what you're doing with intention.
So, like being present to the moment, I guess, is my simple way of thinking it too. Like just accepting any emotion, good or bad. It's a bad emotions. That's meditation too. If I'm getting angry, can I meditate on anger?
Yeah, I want to say if you're being deeply present with it in the moment, then yeah, then that's a form of kind of like a background meditation, if you will.
Mm.
Yes. Now we're talking about intentional meditation, where you sit down and you have an intent to, allow yourself either to attain something spiritually or physically or mentally calm, perhaps is a very common reason to find meditation. And one thing that I found is there's not a lot of people out there talking about some very important and powerful basics to meditation. And I found this book years ago, Harry.
Qigong Empowerment.
Qigong Empowerment.
Master Shun Yu Lang Yang and Wen Xing Wu.
Yes. I'm showing you the book to show you the reference of where I found what is referred to as the 7 keys to sitting meditation, the Buddhist 7 keys to sitting meditation, which is an excellent place to start that I have used for years and refined in my own way. So one thing I would suggest, if you haven't already had some sort of basic posture or form that you've already adapted to yourself, I would suggest just go ahead and giving it a try as it is, and getting used to that before you begin to, try some of your own tweaks. So personally, I'm not a Buddhist. I don't identify with any particular religion. I don't know about you, Harry. Is there any religion that you identify with?
I believe in source creation. That's about it. That's all it is. That's all. Nothing really. No attachments. No attachments, bro. No attachments to nothing.
Beautiful. Yeah, that sounds beautiful. Well, one thing I've found in studying different religions and listening to different religions is that the Buddhists have figured out a great deal about meditation and that, and I trust them greatly with this, and it's done me well. I'm grateful that I found this text before I found any of the New Age type teachings and things like that, and I was able to realize that the majority of the New Age teachings, if you will, were really based on these ancient Eastern texts. Yeah, interesting. So it made it a little easier to decide what was, what was more true to my soul. But at any rate, so the Buddhists outlined 7 keys, right? Ideal goals, The first is sitting.
Sitting.
And to address the way you're sitting, ideally you would be what is a full lotus, where, as they describe.
You've been sitting. I didn't know. I wasn't aware you've been sitting at the beginning of this interview in full lotus. I saw it off camera. You were. So you've been sitting all this time in full lotus.
Yeah, I mean, once you're used to it, it's pretty cool. You know, I can feel it pulling on my feet, and I still haven't cleared that out completely. But yeah, it's took me some years to achieve. But it's a full lotus is accomplished by crossing both feet with the bottom of the feet facing up. Half lotus, which is the next best posture, is accomplished by crossing one leg over the other leg. Sitting in these postures regulates breathing, provides a smoother path for chi flowing downward to enter the middle channel easier. So half lotus, you have one leg here sitting on top.
And it's pretty easy for anyone to do half lotus, right? Anyone
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's easy for anyone. If you haven't done any sort of hip opening flexibility at all, it could be difficult. In which case, honestly, the next best thing, and this is not in the 7 keys, they only address half lotus and full lotus. But the next best thing, energetically speaking, would be to sit in a chair with your feet down without anything crossed.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Okay. And then, other than that, frankly, you know, you could cross your legs. But my fear with that, with the normal crisscross applesauce, if you will, is that you're more likely to have your legs fall asleep for an extended period of time. So what's really important is that you can hold your posture, your pose, for whatever period of time your goal is to meditate. Right. So if your goal is to meditate for 8 hours, Harry.
8 hours of lotus posture.
Right. Find a form of lotus that you can work for 8 hours, right? You know, but at the same time, don't be afraid to switch sides partway through, especially an 8-hour one. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, I've used this book so long, I lost my bookmark, and it's still opened right up to where I was at. Okay, so the next key is making the tranquil hand seal, which is very, very, very simple. It's your left palm facing up and your right palm on top. Now you're going to put this down below your belly button, Harry. If you're able to do this with me, that would be ideal.
I'm standing up. I'm a stander.
Well, you can do it standing up. That's perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
That's perfect. So you want your
left hand above the right and right hand underneath, right?
Yes. For men, they say the left hand on top, and you want your thumbs pointed together here.
Cool.
Right, the thumbs will be pointed together just above the belly button. Okay. So the hand seal is placed in front of the dantian. And this allows the chi that flows horizontally to enter the middle channel easier. Okay, and as you may or may not see there, it also helps to pull the arms out naturally as well, okay, to force a more complete posture. Okay, which goes right into the third key, which is to straighten the back.
Straighten the back, yeah.
And spreading the shoulders. Now, keep the spinal column erect, but maintaining its natural curvature. We talked about that the first time.
Yeah, going too far, trying too hard is going to ruin it, yeah.
Right, trying to make it too straight. There's 3 or 4 curves in the spine. To relax the diaphragm to allow spiritual energy to reach all over the body. Spread shoulders slightly to allow the chi that flows all over the body to enter the middle channel easier. Number 4 is press your chin slightly toward your throat. Slightly toward the throat. This will allow the chi that flows upward to enter the middle channel easier. Another way I like to think of this is to pull your head up by the back of your head, by the crown. by the crown of your head. So the forehead is going naturally forward and naturally down just slightly.
How about like imagine a piece of string, like a puppet, pulling you up? I heard of that one. Does that work?
Yes, exactly, Harry. So if I were doing that, the string would be up here, but the first place where the string would enter my body would be the crown, the very crown chakra, top of the head. Okay. And then the string would go through my body, and the place where it would come out would be the very bottom at the coccyx, at the lowest back point that's naturally on the floor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So that's your string, and then your string is going to follow the natural curve of the spine. Yeah, I like that. Pull that string up. So next is to touch your tongue to the palate of your mouth. So the roof of your mouth, ideally where the soft and the hard palate meet.
Right.
Now that can be a little far back. If it's not comfortable to hold for a period of time, you can just touch the roof of your mouth up closer to your gums. But if you're able to hold that where your hard and soft palate meet, Harry, that's where the real breath cleansing happens, brother. Because what you're doing is you're the physical side of it, you're actually cutting off areas of your nasal breathing that allow more toxins. So it's an even cleaner level of breathing. I don't know if you've come across that.
I've noticed when I do consciously what you're saying, and I'm doing it a lot with my sending the sexual seed up, but I'm putting up to the tongue. What happens is I've noticed that I'm breathing deeper, which makes me think that when I'm not, which is 95% of my life, when it's not up to the top, I'm breathing shallow. And then all of a sudden I do it and my breath is like, release. Like such a relaxing, it's such a difference because I'm doing it, I'm stressed when it's not to the roof of my mouth. So I'm wondering if everyone else is stressed too, if they're not putting their tongue to their roof of their mouth a lot.
Maybe that's why it was so hard for me when I started this, Harry, because I was so stressed. I could barely hold my tongue there for any period.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's hard sometimes to hold it for a while. It gets painful.
Right. So work on that. And I absolutely feel that too. Yeah. As soon as I bring that to my awareness, because if I get an automatic state of meditation and I forget something, that seems to be the thing I'll forget. But as soon as I bring that there, yeah, you're right. You're right. That like locks in that awareness and that consciousness with the present moment.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other part of the fifth key is to focus your eyes in front of you about 6 feet away.
Okay. 6 feet.
Okay.
So a tall man. Imagine tall man's in front of you. Tall man.
Right, except that you're generally going to be looking at the floor because of your eyes downward. So, you know, if a spot on the floor, or if you have one of these that you maybe want to spend some time with or listen to, you could put a crystal. Why not? I just thought of this today, actually. Put a crystal 6 feet away, and then that can be your spot.
Yeah.
To refer and listen.
Yeah.
Who knows? So, also about the fifth key, eyes open or half open.
Right. Half open. Okay. I've never done a half open.
Open or half open. Yeah, half open's a hard one to hold.
Yes.
I've found. Like you tend to slip into closing them. They say that eliminates annoyances resulting from arrogance.
Interesting. Okay.
So so that's what I've been working on. Okay. So yeah, so that's interesting that the Buddhists say that the suggests to keep your eyes open, half open. Now, with that said, there are certainly Buddhist meditations out there, specific meditations where I'm sure they tell you to keep your eyes closed. But this is like their basic bones of, here's what you go back to, right? Unless you have a good reason to change any of these. So 6 is to silence your mouth. Exhale carbon dioxide, inhale fresh air, attain peace and stability of the facial features.
Oh, that's huge. That's for people that are stressed. I think everyone's carrying a lot of tension in their face. I know for me, that's part of the reason why we're so there's so much tension. Our jaws are locked. The tongue is not through the mouth. That's also causing facial stress. People don't laugh enough. That's causing facial stress. Yeah, something like that.
Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and heart. To a meditator, the feelings arising from the 5 facial features should not be thought of as right or wrong or good or bad. Only in a neutral state will the meditator attain peace of mind. This state is like a sleeping baby, most peaceful and calm. But it is not a state of daze. Do not misunderstand daze as tranquil and calm. Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with that completely, Harry. Sometimes simply just reminding to just soften your brow, you know?
Yeah.
Soften your cheeks, right?
Could one way
Muscles around
do
your
that,
eyes.
like to tense up your face in order to soften it? Go really tense, go like maybe do something like that, and then really exaggerate it to get it loose. I don't know. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, something like that, like lion's breath or something, some facial. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a little immediately relaxing, I have to admit. So number 7 is silence your mind. The mind must be at peace and stable. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. And don't think about now as you are engaging in meditation. Now that takes lifetimes to attain completely. Surely it takes lifetimes. But with that said, there are certain meditations that they tell you to, think about specific, movements of energy and chi within. So I feel like these are really excellent ways to start. And Harry, if you'd like to go through briefly with me here, and we can spend about a 5-minute meditation together.
Yeah. I'm
gonna find a song. I know you edit stuff, so I'm just gonna chime in for a second here. Do you have if I play like a song, like a 5-minute YouTube Om chant or something?
That should be fine. Yeah,
is there any kind of, I don't know if there's any kind of copywriting issues or anything like that.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. If there is, we can cut it out. I don't think there would be. No, I think that's fine.
Okay, hold on a second.
One thing I want you to be aware of when you play music on video, sometimes to the other person it really sounds off. It doesn't sound right. It's hurtful.
Oh, okay.
It's hurtful. So you
Harmony is pointing out sometimes the video can sound quite awful.
Can it?
On the other end.
All right.
So let's, well, I can give it quite a quick test and.
Dude, when you put your hands there, I felt the energy.
Did it?
Yeah, it was really great.
I know, it's moving through me right now. How you feeling, Brother Harry?
Yeah, excited to share space with you today and do a 5-minute. I missed my second meditation this evening, so it'd be kind of useful to get one in.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I had something ready here.
We can do a silent one if you want. It's fine.
What's that?
We can do a silent one without the music if you want. That's no problem. Without music.
The energy is
just a silent one, whatever. We don't need the music, do we?
No, that's fine. It's just the more silent meditations you do in your life, the more you realize there's no such thing as silence. You hear something somewhere, but that's fine. Yeah. So, yeah, music and sound is actually something. So we'll end up doing a silent one, and let me just come back. So people want to know, what do I listen to when I meditate, right? Should I listen to music? Okay, music's fine. I would highly suggest music without words.
Right.
Right? because words will tend to pull you into other, away from meditation. The exception to that would be like a chant, okay, like a consistent Om chant, or you know, maybe an Om Mani Padme Hum, or any kind of kirtan chant might be an exception to that. But silence is also excellent. Just like stillness, though, silence is impossible.
Yeah.
Right. Keep tuning in and keep tuning in and keep tuning in. You'll hear something.
Yeah.
You'll hear something. I don't care how soundproof your room is.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll start to hear the paint on the walls degrade. All right, that's an extreme situation, but you understand where I'm coming from. So the ideal situation, and it's winter time here, is near running water, quite honestly, like a creek, a babbling brook, something that's consistent and would also drown out any other, you know, aberrations of sound that could pull you out of it. Being in nature, sitting in nature, obviously also is ideal. If you can put your bum right on the earth.
Yeah, on that bum.
That's ideal. So let's let's take 5 minutes together. And before we do this, we'll seek full lotus or half lotus.
I got my back straight for sure. Straight my back.
Okay, so the right hand goes below, the left hand goes above, below our belly button. Thumbs come together. To review. Okay, so the back is straightened but not over straightened. Allow for the natural curves. Feel free to sink into your seat comfortably, naturally. Spread your shoulders out slightly. Drop your chin slightly. Raise your head by your crown slightly. Feel that string from the top, back of your crown, all the way down to the bottom of your coccyx, your butt bone. Sink into that. We're going to keep our eyes open or half open. And put our tongue on the roof of our mouth, ideally the tip of the tongue at the point where the hard palate meets the soft palate. We're just going to allow emptiness. If the thought comes in, say hello, goodbye, tune into your body. If you feel the need, tune in somewhere, just tune into your body. An opportunity to become conscious with the deep, slow, full breath. Feeling a powerful wave of gratitude wash over me there.
Oh,
Harry, I don't know what you felt, brother.
I feel good. I feel good. But, yeah.
Yeah. So, how long should you meditate? I mean, 5 minutes is better than no minutes.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes, especially when we're feeling a little overwhelmed here, with the newborn baby, and we have a lot of things we want to get done. Just taking 5 minutes and sitting down and doing that will allow us to actually do all the things without, and turn off that overwhelm, But I would say, honestly, 20 to 30 minutes is a time, is kind of a minimum time frame you should shoot for regular practice, ideally daily. They say if you don't have 30 minutes a day, then you need to make time for 60.
Right. Yeah. It's so powerful. It's been really good doing that. I haven't done breath. I was just floating on my breath. I haven't done it in a long time, and it felt amazing to do. And I feel much better now, just from that short one. Like much better. Like much better. Just from like 5 minutes. That's crazy.
That's awesome, Harry. I hope you can integrate some of these techniques into your practice. So yeah, if we still have more time today, I'd love to talk a little bit about crystals.
Yes, absolutely, of course. Yeah, we can go into that now if you want to. Yeah, by all means.
Awesome. So, I came into this alternative healing world and spirituality, New Age world as a pretty heavy left brain skeptic, if you will. I tend to see immediately how something won't work. That was deeply programmed into me throughout my life, and I was very good at it. But I've also come to open up other parts of my thinking to realize, well, maybe there's other perspectives where maybe something could work. So I'd like to apply this practical understanding of the 3D physical world with crystals, right? For me, that was like the last piece of this woo puzzle, if you will, the New Age woo puzzle, for lack of a better term. That just didn't make sense to me for so long. That these little or big, depending how you look at it, beings.
Yeah, you showed it. What is it? What is that called? That one?
This is a green fluorite.
Okay.
Yeah, pull him out because he's nice and easy to see. So, crystals they're formed over time, over a very long period of time, somewhere either here on this earth or somewhere else, and they're left here by liquids basically cooling and then rehardening over time. And depending on the other minerals involved in the process that are already in the earth, or maybe there's a volcano or whatnot, you have some very different crystals on very different parts of the world. Sometimes you have the same crystals that are naturally occurring in different parts of the world that are considered the same, but they're slightly different. Crystals are extremely stable, meaning that they hold a vibration of 32,768 oscillations per 1 second.
Whoa, my mind just got blown there. How many is this? 30,000 oscillations a second.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy in my hand is moving. Every second he moves almost 33,000 times.
Whoa.
Every
Doesn't
second.
work, bro. What do you mean when you say move? Do you mean like to the side or just a very small movements that you can't even see? Well, it's just so quick you can't see.
Yeah, I mean oscillations. You know, what is an oscillation to you,
Is
right?
it wave, is it? An oscillation?
I'm not sure. Well, an oscillation is a movement. I think of it as side to side, but I think when you're having 32,000 per 1 second, I don't even think there's a human English word that could accurately describe the awesomeness. If that makes sense. So, excuse me. So this is why they're in watches. Okay, we count on. We found a way to tap into their power of constantly keeping that vibration to be able to keep our time in this world and tell us what time it is at any given time. You may have heard of an LCD monitor.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at one. Well, it's liquid crystal display. Yeah. So quartz crystal, again, in our monitors, our computers, our
I learned
phones.
something recently. Silicon Valley. Why is it called Silicon Valley in USA, where the computer techs? Do you know why it's called Silicon Valley?
I don't know.
Because it's silicon dioxide is a crystal. I think clear quartz is called silicon dioxide. That's why they called it Silicon Valley. Because all their tech, their computers are made from quartz crystal, and now the name is silicon dioxide.
That sounds right. So they know, right?
They know, yeah.
They know, so they get it. I bet there's a lot of crystal collections that are pretty fantastic from Silicon Valley.
Sure.
So, when people think about crystals, the biggest turnoff for me was the negative Nancy in me just saw the spiritual materialist side of it. It's like, oh, well, geez, I already saw this materialism in the old world I'm trying to get out of, and everybody's and there's certainly an aspect of that we all should be aware of. And sometimes I feel like I may or may not have fallen into that trap, but I try to be aware of it. But it shouldn't eliminate the beautiful power and strength that they have. If you believe nothing else about the spiritual or healing abilities about crystals, you have to accept the energy that is put out by a large being that's moving at that rate. That's real energy. And from the beginning, I felt that energy. And that's why I never discounted it completely. It just took me a while to, kind of get on board and identify with them, if you will. So the healing ability, it's believed, physical healing lies in the potential for the vibrational attunement of our body, our physical flesh, with the vibration of the crystal.
Right.
Now, we're probably never going to get to 32,768, but the closer the crystals help us get there, the more they can help with the physical healing.
Yeah.
That
makes
now,
sense.
What's that?
If our body is quite incoherent, we've got sickness, isn't it? We've got incoherent frequencies going off all over the place. Our body's not working together. Maybe the crystal can help make our body more coherent. If that makes any sense. That's how I think of them too. Like bring structure to our illness and disease. Bring structure to our bodies.
Absolutely. To ourselves? Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that it's quite possible that yourselves and crystals could communicate.
Yeah, I think so.
I believe. And what's beautiful about the spiritual potential of crystals to help healing spiritually or communicating is frankly infinite. It's limitless. Okay, there are countless books and websites that talk about this crystal works for this chakra, And they're based on the materials, they're based on the colors, but most importantly, they're based on collective intention and collective belief. Okay, so many people believe that a certain crystal will heal in a certain way. There becomes truth in that when you accept it.
Oh.
The more you accept it, the more truth there is.
Interesting. So many people can believe something and make it true by collectively believing something. Can make that crystal into
Energetically, absolutely.
interesting.
Absolutely. I mean, it could get more complicated than that, but absolutely. Absolutely. The wider the scale, the better. And on the macro level, on the wide level, it's the wider the scale of the people that believe, the better. But most importantly, on the micro level for yourself, how deeply do you believe that, for example, this piece of fruit is going to nourish my body, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, we know that it only goes so far, right? Because if you drink a can of oil, obviously,
You might die.
right? Even if you really truly believe it's going to nourish your body. So,
Yeah.
obviously, there's a middle ground there, because the amount of time it would take your energetic body to actually get ahead of the toxins and heal the physical body, the physical body would probably not be with us anymore. But I believe theoretically that, you could actually catch up with the healing. But maybe that's a test for another day, Harry.
Yeah, another day. Interesting, though. I like your thoughts on that. It was very interesting. Very interesting point. Definitely.
So I just want to show you a couple, and of course, if you have any other questions, some different ones that I like. I want to show you. This is called obsidian. It's black obsidian.
Right. Very famous.
Yes, from Russia. So the most powerful part of this crystal that I accepted was its ability to transmute negative energy. It theoretically likes negative energy. It absorbs negative energy.
Very cool. Put it around some negative people, then we should get some nice happy faces.
Well, I mean, the idea is it sits there and it's a crystal and it's a rock and it's living and it's happy to be here. And if there's any negative energy around, it's happy to catch it up. It's happy to pick it up and help you with it.
Nice.
But if I still want to hold on to negative energy within me, it can only take so much. So that was just one kind. Now, I have a number of different kinds, but just to show you the different potentials of, in this case, one kind of crystal. This is all fluorite, all from the same miner. So we have what's known as a banded fluorite, where it's like super skinny, and the piece actually broke in transit, but this is the biggest part of it. And you see you've got the clearer, the blue, and the other colors coming through here. This is also from the same miner, and it's all green. Here's another also fluorite, the same.
I do have a question. Remember we
talked all purple.
Let's tap into the idea of what do you think the difference is between polished and raw crystals? And don't polish what you're going to say either. What's the difference for you?
So I'm glad you asked me that, Harry.
Yeah.
And my ankle is starting to say, it's been about 45 minutes. You need to move. Oh no, I guess I did move about half an hour ago. Excuse me there. Let me switch. Okay, so
orgone pyramids, right?
here, yes, these are pyramids. This is very, very powerful septarian. Okay, it has a number of different. In here, you'll see some calcite that crystallizes in some of the pieces where you can see the actual crystals. These are parts of like dinosaur eggs. They're supposed to be like 50 to 80 million years old.
Whoa, that's crazy. Wow.
Seriously, right? So here we have these two pieces that are polished to a very intentional shape. In this case, it's pyramid, because there's, of course, many ancient powerful beliefs about the power of the shape of the pyramid, and where you're building the energy at the bottom, and then it is centralized to do the most good. So in this case, I show you these two because if I wanted to meditate with crystals, this might be a great way to do it. To put one in each hand on my knees, like so.
The energy would
Or
run.
to use one or both here.
The energy would run through your hands to your entire body from that, I think, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, personally, I believe ideally, the less polishing,
the more raw.
I think, I hate to say the better, because when you shape it to certain shapes, palm stones that you can hold easily, or other faces or other religious, like a Ganesh or something like that, and obviously now that holds a new level of power because the intentions and the beliefs and the understandings behind the shape of the deity. But generally speaking, I think crystals, if I were a crystal, I would want to be in the form I was in, right? Naturally. Now, this guy probably came off another piece, but some of them I know from the miner personally, like pieces like these, this is exactly how it came out of the earth.
Cool.
My friend. Exactly. Not polished, not clean, not even oxalic acid. I think it was a mine in Arkansas where he was able to get a number of pieces that didn't even need to be cleaned, and that were crystal clear. So most of the time, though, they're going to come like this as a chunk off of a piece that, is in the earth, right? And just to get a piece as big as your computer, you might need a truck, So ideally, I think a lot of them want to stay in the earth, but I think at the same time, I think there's information out there. People believe that there's spiritual information or messages or that they're here to heal, like particularly maybe in the case of these septarians, where if you have, and do you have an egg? Do you want to get an egg? Where, you're looking at like an egg. I mean, something that you really feel like, when you hear the term starseed, sometimes it makes sense. And this is my beautiful son, Rowan.
Yeah, hi, Rowan.
He turns 9 months and 2 days.
Oh, bless him. Oh.
Oh, switch off. Yep, thank you. Okay, so this is another one of the septarians.
Wow, right here. That's beautiful.
Just to give you an idea how large it is. It's the same one, and it's a perfectly shaped egg that really pretty well came out of the earth that way. I mean, they polished it to get it down to a better shape, and it looks like they've done some sort of finish. Coating on it,
but it's open.
Right, which I don't love. But what's different about this one is it's wide open. Yeah, you can see that it's like an entire other world inside there, the cavern. So when I see, I don't know, when I sit and I hold this beautiful piece, I feel truth that that they're, that we're all in this together, and they're here to help these new stages of healing for the planet. Yeah. We could say it's about us humans, but we're just along the ride for on the planet. Yeah. Right now, I think these guys are here for an important reason. There's a reason these are coming out recently into consciousness. This is not something you'll generally find. It's called septarian, S-E-P-T-A-R-I-A-N. It's not something you'll generally find in your crystal books. Right, or even shops, for that matter.
And they do the same, is it? Sectarians, they're more powerful, you're saying? Or they just do a different thing?
They have a specific mission.
So in the case of septarians, we believe that it's possible they have a specific mission, or whoever dropped them here had a specific mission or plan in mind for the Earth. So we think about carbon dating, right? And how do we really know about the permanent extension of that? Because there's no way to verify that. Well, because we know something is 20 years or 100 or 1,000 years old, then we have to know it's 10,000 or 10 million. I've always wondered why that was just an automatically.
Yeah, I think that's a complicated issue, isn't it? Carbon dating. I've heard criticism of it, actually. That's all kind of made up crap, and it's hard to really tell. But I don't know. I'm open-minded to being true or not. But yeah, I don't know. It's complicated science. If it's true, it's too complicated for my mind, for sure. Like, probably might be true. I don't know.
So the reason I mention that is because I think about this guy in the context of that. So carbon dating leads us to believe that these formed at a time 50 to 80 million years ago. Okay. But is it possible that's our earthly understanding of something that formed somewhere else,
right,
and really hasn't been here that long? So I don't know.
It could have got dropped off by another species. Just suggesting it could have been by another different type of wanted to help humans, like you said, a mission thing.
Perhaps, or cousins. The possibilities are limitless, in my opinion. And really, all the spiritual possibilities for crystals. So yeah. So I've found truth in the energy. Okay, without getting too deep into the woo of it. And you asked about raw versus polished. I think for healing, I think you want raw. That's what I want, because the bigger the better, right? The larger the crystal, the more potential physical matter to attenuate your physical body. If that makes sense.
Definitely.
For jewelry, you might want polished so you're not cutting yourself.
Yeah, I was thinking about while you were talking. Like, polished is it's almost like we've got a polished society now, where everything has to look pristine and clean. You can't have raw-looking crystals because they look dirty. So we want to polish it up to make it look nice and clean, and take away its power. Like, it's a bit. If you think about it, it's just symptomatic of society, isn't it? Like this raw polished stuff, like. Yeah.
I absolutely agree, Harry. And that's why I make the point that the intention is important. Not just of the maker, but the person who receives the crystal and uses the crystal. That you're right. If your intention is to have it because it looks pretty, then on the aesthetic level, it's going to help you. Right? It's better than nothing. Certainly, there's much more potential than that. So, trying to think of other instances where polished is better.
Only jewelry. That's probably okay, because you can't have a raw piece on jewelry and you round your bracelet, your necklace. I mean, you could actually have raw pieces, couldn't you? You could put it into a little holder or something around you. You could do raw as well.
Hold on 1 second. Oh, leg stuck. Oh, Harry just found pens and rings. Just posted that one today.
Really?
Harry. Okay, so you just posted about tensor rings.
Yes, I'm wearing one. Yeah, tensor rings. We love well, yeah, I love that stuff now. Oh, you got cool.
So a friend of mine, actually locally here in Pennsylvania, a dear friend of mine actually makes these also. He's an excellent craftsman, and he used great intent, and he makes like every size you can think of. Like he makes full body ones. Ones that fit over your head that have worked well, ones that fit over your electrical smart meter. So here's a case where it's raw. It's a little piece of is that sodalite? I was thinking it's blue kind of. It's sodalite that is wrapped by copper inside of the tensor ring. So yeah, you have a case where, you know, this crystal doesn't rub off too much. Some of them will rub off a lot, and you have to be really mindful of that. The dust, to get a lot of dust, it can be harmful. You don't, so you want to maybe be careful around kids if it's something that's crinkling. Yeah, sorry, I just it's distracted for a second there.
Okay. And what's the difference for tensor and crystals? How do you feel the difference between tensors and crystals? What's more powerful to you, or they do have different purposes? What do you feel out for them? The difference between them?
That's a really good question. You know, I feel different levels of energy, vibration from them differently, from different crystals, different ways, frankly, in different days, at different times. I got a shipment of about 6 large of some of these type. There was only one fluorite. In fact, this was the fluorite. And there were 5 other similar sized crystals. And for some reason, that one in particular was like hitting me with energy. You know, so it's like really hard to answer that question, you know, simply, because for me, I haven't been able to tune in specifically to exactly what's going on, physically or energetically. I kind of allow it to wash over me and find gratitude for it.
Yeah, I love what you said. I only got this 2 days ago for this tensor ring for the first time, and I slept with it the first time last night, and I had the best sleep of my life. And I know it's this ring. I mean, I always have good sleep anyway, but I just know that it's doing something powerful. And I'm not just saying I know, I actually physically can tell the difference in my state and mood and vibration from this thing. And it's crazy to think something so small, like a tensor ring, it's just, people say, oh, it's just a piece of copper, you know, wrapped around, and we're like, no, it's set with intention. It's done.
Yes.
It's got specific ways of making it. They have to be. If you do it slightly wrong, you won't do it. It won't be a tensor ring. So people take it really seriously, and quite frankly, they should, because it's doing something that defies logic to people that we'll call it woo-woo, we'll call it just a piece of copper, and it's not just copper, is it? It's way more than just copper. It's energy that I don't know how to define it either, to be honest with you. I just know it's really powerful.
You're so right. And you know, I never thought about how you have to do it, but if you look closely at this, yeah, you'll see that each increment of twining is very intentional, and they're relatively very equidistant.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, if I would suggest, you know, if you're gonna look for a piece, you know, go to someone who you know is a craftsman.
Yeah.
Because obviously this is a new thing in the world. So you're not going to find somebody who's been making these for 20 years. I don't think. Maybe you will. I don't know. But yeah, so I will say that the gentleman who made these, he had a booth at an event, and he had one of these full-size tensor rings. He had 2. He had one you put on the ground, you stepped in, and then the other one that he, And I mean, holy shit, Harry. As soon as I stepped in the thing, I thought it was like on cloud 20.
People do that. People sleep in these things. People sleep in and I just want to try it. I want to buy it and try it. Like, live it.
I mean, I don't know. There was so much energy. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I could, like, be there by that all the time, you know?
8 hours of sleep under that thing. The energy's going on, like, for 9-10 hours. Wow. Crazy.
I think if I could get to sleep, it could be awesome.
If you could. You don't need sleep with those things. It takes away the sleep time. Like,
Right. And you may have found that with meditation already, Harry. The more you get into that,
yep.
the less nighttime sleep you need. Isn't that true?
And meditation, aged urine before bed. Yep. All these things take away sleep time for sure. Yeah.
The path to superhuman.
And then the normal people, the science will tell you, well, that's not a good thing because you're supposed to sleep 8 hours. If you get less than that, you're unhealthy. Like, no, I feel fine on less sleep. Thank you very much, Mr. Science Man. Don't listen to you.
Yeah, it definitely depends. It definitely depends. Every now and then, I definitely need a reset of 8 to 10.
Yeah.
You know, every so many days, I need to get that 8 to 10. But for the most part, I'm not there, but I'm pretty similar. So
it depends a lot of things. Like the Wi-Fi, your EMFs in your vicinity, how much you're eating in a day, what kind of food. So many factors go into sleep. It's crazy. Right.
Yeah, so Harry, I really appreciate the time here to talk about some basics of meditation. I think that are important for all of us to have an understanding of. And you know, maybe I allowed someone who wasn't sure about crystals to dive a little deeper today. Hopefully, I know that's what I needed early on. I needed someone from a practical standpoint of why these things might work.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to everyone just, you know, automatically accepting, you know, everyone else's medicine, which can work too.
True, bro. And I appreciate you giving us the knowledge on meditation. That's really important for someone to walk us through the steps, and with crystals too, because people come from a place of why do they work? So thank you for going through that with us, and the tensor ring too. It was a beautiful little video I think we've got here, and I'll cut some clips out from for sure. So with that being said, thank you everyone for watching, and this was Holistic Health Harry with Mr. David High on meditation and crystals. Thank you very much, guys.